Buscando Barker el lanzamiento. Tiene un hombre abierto y es el jugador Charkey.
Y la parada y Raymond Austin. A mí me encanta el modo de jugar Raymond Austin. Apenas su segundo año, pero tiene esa habilidad de dar esos golpes, tremendos golpes.
Primera posición y 10 con 1.38. Alabama ha pedido tiempo, le queda uno solamente en lo que resta de este segundo cuarto.
Budweiser, la mejor razón en el mundo para tomar cerveza.
Este es un homenaje del gráfico a quienes desde hace 75 años desfilan por sus páginas haciendo grande el deporte.
Copiadoras reacondicionadas a nuevo en $2.500. Analistas empresarios. Llame ya. 812-4312.
La reversa que viene en la yarda número 40, pero queda corto en obtener la primera posición.
Y qué rapidez ahí llegó a demostrar George Kittle otra vez, 42. No se iba a entregar y le siguió ahí corriendo y corriendo hasta sacarle de afuera a Marcel West. Es una cosa, mirando el número de Jay Barker, él nunca te va a impresionar con los números que él tiene. Lo que él te va a impresionar, lo que le impresiona a uno es esa 29 victorias, una derrota, un empate. David Palmer, el hombre que está ahora con los Vikings de Minnesota. Estos son los números en 1993.
Simplemente las recepciones espectaculares, 61 en total. Un golpe fuerte y no puede cruzar Stigger.
Y ese Raymond Austin otra vez. 19 años tiene Raymond Austin y le encanta jugar fútbol americano. Y ahora Barker va a tomar tiempo libre.
El último que le queda, porque ya no le queda más, a la Universidad de Alabama. Gene Stollen parece que un poco preocupado, porque este partido puede, quién sabe, llegar hasta el último cuarto de esta misma manera, igualado.
Y estas dos universidades tienen gran tradición, gran rivales en esta conferencia. Y él está reconociendo que esta defensa de Tennessee está jugando muy bien. Hicieron unos cuantos cambios y ese le ha ayudado mucho a esta defensa.
Deal con la entrega de balón para la Universidad de Tennessee. Una patada muy elevada, dándole tiempo a sus jugadores para que traten de detener al jugador Neil Sylvan. Les recordamos que a medio tiempo estarán en los estudios de ESPN, hablando acerca un poco de la historia de la Universidad de Auburn, que le ganó a Florida, que estaba invicto en esta misma conferencia en la División del Este. Van a hablar con Joe Paterno, que está invicto en la Universidad de Penn State.
Y ese equipo de Florida que tenía un promedio de 51 puntos cada partido, estaba anotando, fue frenada. 17 victorias consecutivas ahora en la parte de Auburn.
Invicto desde el año pasado. Quedan 23 segundos por jugar. Stewart toca el césped de una vez y va a finalizar este primer tiempo de juego del segundo cuarto con el marcador 3-3. Va a ser una noche larga, parece, para el equipo de Alabama, que tiene problemas al día de hoy. 3-3 el marcador. Vamos a tomar un descanso y regresaremos en directo al Estadio Neyland.
Coming up on the DMAC Halftime Report, we'll recap what has been a terrific day of college football all across the country. We'll take you to Ann Arbor, where Chris, Craig, and the coach will get to talk to Joe Paterno after Penn State's victory over Michigan in Ann Arbor. All that coming up at halftime, where the Vols and the Tide are all even at a pair of threes.
Bases del deporte. Demos una mirada al fútbol estadounidense. El touchdown es la jugada más emocionante en el partido. Es el objetivo de cada equipo llevar la bola hacia la zona final del oponente y cruzar la línea de anotación por 6 puntos. El quarterback o mariscal de campo comanda la ofensiva y ejecuta jugadas para llevar la bola a la end zone o zona final. Un touchdown puede ser realizado de una o dos maneras. La primera, por un jugador corriendo con la bola y penetrando en la zona final del oponente. La segunda es pasando la bola a un compañero, quien la atrapa en la zona final, y eso puede ser desde cualquier lugar en la cancha. Observen bien a una de las más brillantes formas de touchdown que cualquier equipo puede anotar: la bomba. El mariscal de campo lanza la bola hacia la zona final, donde todos sus recibidores han ido, y espera que uno logre atrapar el balón y marcar 6 puntos.
Es la Copa Europea de Campeones, que une a los mejores equipos del continente viejo, donde la velocidad y destreza de cada jugador se nota en todo momento. Este miércoles ESPN le trae 3 partidos, comenzando en directo con el Manchester United de Inglaterra y el Fútbol Club Barcelona, seguido por el Atenas y el Milán de Italia. Después el Sparta de Moscú y el Bayern de Alemania. La Copa Europea de Campeones en ESPN.
This halftime report is presented by GMAC.
Let's immediately get you caught up on the only top 25 game going on. Dick Tomey's Arizona Wildcats taking on Washington State. Big play for Chad Davis. Unloads to Albert Kennedy, and he is gone. 85-yard score. The Palouse Noose was shutting out Arizona in the first, but a 33-yard pass by Dan White. The other quarterbacks, his tight end Tim Thomas, as these two great Pac-10 defenses all even at 7 midway through the second quarter. And as we get going at halftime, recapping what's happened already on this third Saturday in October. A showdown Saturday became a shakedown Saturday as some teams went on the road and came up with some huge wins, including 6th ranked coming into the day, Auburn. Could they go to the Swamp and hand Florida the first loss in the SEC under Steve Spurrier? These teams met as unbeatens last year. This year it lived up to billing. Terry Dean struggled. Danny Werfel came in, drops back and finds Jack Jackson, who just kills defenses. 28-yard score. The Gators lead by 4. But on Florida's next possession, it's 3rd and 15. Werfel is going back. Throws a floater down the middle that is intercepted by Brian Robinson, one of his 3 INTs on the day. And Auburn's 55 yards away from a touchdown that could take the lead. After making a 4th down, it's 1st and goal, and Patrick Nix to Frankie Sanders goes up and gets it from 8 yards out, and the Auburn Tigers keep their streak alive. Now a school record 18 straight wins for Terry's Tigers. They walk into the Swamp and beat Florida in a game with 6 lead changes, 4 of them in the 4th quarter. After the game, Brett Haber caught up with Coach Terry Bowden.
All right, Terry Bowden, your defense has lived by the big play all year. You had to step it up against Florida. You did that, 5 interceptions. Tough to do at the Swamp.
It's tough to do. It's unbelievable. I can't believe the effort we gave. All of our players, all of our fans. I'll see everybody at Toomer's Corner.
Wait a second. Patrick Nick said this is your bowl game. You don't have one this year. Was that this big a game for you?
It was our Super Bowl. If we were going to have a chance at a national championship, we were lucky enough to get the #1 team. Everybody wanted them to be #1. There was no fluke today. We beat them fair enough.
Spurrier criticized your schedule. Now you've beaten him twice. I guess he can't criticize it anymore.
I don't know. He's probably right.
My last question. You beat the #1 team in the country in their backyard. What does that do to Auburn's rating?
It ought to make us #1 if you ask me.
More debate on that ahead. The difference in this game, Auburn's defense. The secondary said, we hope they throw every time. 5 INTs, they knocked Dean out of the game, and Auburn rushed the ball very well on Florida. No one had done that until today. A great day for Auburn in the Swamp. In the Big 8, #2 Nebraska on the road against another unbeaten Kansas State. Brooke Behringer came in the second half, moved him down the field, and Jeff Makovica, the other fullback, in for Schlesinger. A 16-yard run that was the icing. Nebraska ran for 210 yards. Kansas State -7 on the ground. Chad May, 22 of 48, 249 yards, 1 INT. For the 26th straight time, Huskers beat K-State. As for the big one at the Big House in the fourth quarter, Joe Paterno's team, they were up 16-0 at one point, all tied at 24. Kerry Collins, Bobby Ingram, 16-yard score, 31-24 after the PAT. After a great run by Ty Wheatley, Todd Collins going deep. Amani Toomer breaks free, but just can't get to the ball. Later on 3rd and inches, no Wheatley, but Biaka Batuka stopped. 2-yard loss, so 4th and 2. Todd Collins is scrambling. He's looking for Mercury Hayes. Hayes didn't come back to the quarterback. Ryan Miller gets in the way. Michigan, 2 losses, first in the Big Ten. Penn State is unbeaten. Ty Wheatley had 19 carries for 144. You see the numbers for Kijana Carter as the Nittany Lions go to the Big House, and the road team has won each of the first 2 games in this series. BYU goes to Notre Dame. You figure a big effort to bounce back. Lou Holtz, 8 different starters in this game. After the BC loss, 14-13, Jamal Willis leaps into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the game. And Notre Dame could not move the ball offensively on BYU. BYU shut down the Notre Dame rushing attack. And Notre Dame is likely to be unranked for the first time since 1986. That's a span of 94 games when they play Navy in 2 weeks. Back to our thoughts on the Michigan-Penn State game, and we go back to Ann Arbor to hear from the coach of the victorious Nittany Lions, who's standing by with Chris Fowler.
All right, Mike, thank you. 31-24, second tough, heartbreaking loss at home for Michigan. Your thoughts on Penn State? Joe Paterno had said he'll join us in just a second. He was waiting for the first test of his team, the first piece of adversity. He got it in this ball game.
Well, you got to give Penn State a lot of credit. I question if they could turn it up a notch in the clutch because they hadn't done it before. Michigan scores 17 unanswered points. From that time, Penn State turned it up every single time, offensively and defensively. You got to give them a lot of credit. They deserve to win this game.
And really, the side that I looked to was the defense. Penn State's defense, when they had to in the fourth quarter, they stepped it up. They slowed down that 17-point spree that Michigan took off on. To me, that was the key to this football team. They've got the offense. The defense was able to slow them down.
And joining us now, Coach Joe Paterno. Major step toward the Rose Bowl to do, but you said, I'm not going to say how good this team is till I see them tested. What do you think now?
Well, I think we're a good football team because we think we beat a really good football team today. I think Michigan is, you know, they're tough kids. They get great skilled people. They get great tradition, and you know, you got to play them 60 minutes, and we did that today, which makes me feel good about our team.
The offense that carried this team through the first few ball games. This is linebacker you, after all. I thought your linebackers played a tremendous game in the second half.
I thought they did too, and I would agree with what Craig said about it. I think our defense did. They came to play. They've been banged up a little bit. I think maybe I've overworked them earlier in the year. They were tired. We lost some of our quickness. But today I think we played about the way, you know, we're capable of playing. So I felt good about our defense. I felt good about the whole football team. They all hustled and played hard.
Joe, the #1 football team in the nation, Florida, got beat. The #2 team, Nebraska, only won by 11. You win this game. Do you think you should be #1?
Well, I don't care where we are right now. I'm only worried about where we're going to be at the end of the year. You know how I feel about polls. I think they're great. They're great for the television viewers. They sell newspapers. The fans like to argue about it. But, you know, 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, I may be moaning about why we're not ranked 25th. Who knows? So I'm not upset about it.
But the question's going to come. It's going to come. Who's going to be #1? When somebody asks you about your team, what makes you the #1 team right now?
I don't know. You tell me. I haven't seen everybody else. I think we've been as good as anybody I've seen. That doesn't mean we're the best team, but I have not seen Auburn, to be frank with you. Saw Florida, saw a lot of Florida last year, particularly because we played Tennessee in the ball game. I think we're a good football team. We'd be a match for anybody, whether we're the best one or not. You know, I think you got to play it out. The thing about the new rules with 85 scholarships, where a couple of kids get hurt, the good football teams will overcome that. That's the thing that impressed me so much about Michigan early in the year, when they won a couple of big games without 3 or 4 starters. We won a big game without a couple of kids having a lot of practice and one starter not playing. And I think that those are the things that will make you a national championship football team. And I think you got to play out the schedule before you can start saying we're number one, somebody else is number one. You just got to play the whole baby out and see what you can do when you're banged up and so forth.
Your fans are screaming Rose Bowl. Kijana Carter was down in the end zone after the winning touchdown, screaming right in front of me, we're going to the Rose Bowl. Do you have to guard and keeping your team down to earth? Still some tough games, Illinois, Ohio State, Michigan State.
We have 5 tough weeks ahead of us. We have an open week this week, which doesn't light me up. I think the off week we had before the Michigan game was a big help to us, but this one isn't going to help us. But we got to get everybody calmed down and realize there's a lot of football left to play.
But you're the new front runner. We thank you for joining us, Joe Paterno. Congratulations,
thanks.
a big win. Ann Arbor belongs to the Penn State fans tonight. 31-24 is the final. Get you back to Mike in a minute.
ESPN presenta Boxeo Estelar. Para la mejor pelea en cartelera, solo recuerde sintonizar ESPN. Los mejores pugilistas del mundo ofreciendo emoción sin igual. Boxeo Estelar por ESPN.
With over 15 years of experience, ESPN gives you access to 120 million homes on 6 continents in 10 languages. One phone call to the ESPN International Advertising Sales Department provides global reach to convey one message. Yours. ESPN's international networks deliver the world's largest and most desirable male sports audience. With ESPN Latin America, ESPN Asia, Eurosport, and Japan Sports Channel. One call to our New York City office puts your message into 120 million living rooms and hotel rooms worldwide. The ESPN Global Network brings your message to the viewer 24 hours a day.
This halftime report is presented by GMAC Financial Services, the expressway home.
The last 4 in this series have been decided by a total of 15 points. Maybe on our way to another close one, all even between the Tide and the Vols at the half. Today in the Big Ten, hey, have you noticed Purdue? They're kind of sneaking up on everyone, a chance to move into second place by themselves if they could win or tie against Wisconsin today. After a 47-yard fumble return, Purdue's Brad Bobbitt connects from 32 yards out. Game tied at 27, 2 seconds left. John Hall, a 53-yarder to win it at home in Madison. Wide left, had the distance too. 27-27 is the final. By the way, Darrell Bevell did come in, played and led Wisconsin to do scoring drives. Purdue is in sole possession of second in the Big Ten. In the ACC, Duke stays unbeaten. Ray Farmer, a blocked punt in the 4th quarter. The win for the Dukies by 6 over Clemson. They play Florida State in 2 weeks. In the SWC, Texas A&M ranked 7th, trying to extend the nation's longest home win streak. Ahead 10-7. Corey Pullig mixed up the plays well today. Play action to senior Chris Sanders, 75-yard score. A&M wins by 20. Scored on every possession in the second half except the last one. They've won 25 straight in the conference, 24 straight at home. Napoleon Kaufman, a very solid day. He's over 1,000 yards now as Washington beat Arizona State. Colorado State continues to roll on. They're 7-0. Utah survived against Hawaii. They are 6-0. Those 2 teams meet next week, an immense game in the WAC. We're at the half in the SEC. Philip Fulmer's used both his quarterbacks. The scrambling of Brandon Stewart helping Tennessee.
Afuera viene Sunday Silence. Se aproxima también Easy Goer con Pat Day. Easy Goer por dentro tiene una pequeña ventaja. Una nariz con cuidado, se aproximan. Esto puede ser una gran final en el Preakness Stakes. Esto llega para una foto. Una finalísima. Sunday Silence gana el Preakness Stakes.
My choice wasn't that difficult. This place saved me.
I'm really impressed by Craig. He had a chance to go to law school. He gave up that opportunity and came back to the Chinkopin School to teach these kids. And thanks to the Houston Open, kids from low-income families can get an education. The Houston Open's been involved with the Chinkopin School here since 1980, and they really need the support of the Houston Open. Who knows? Maybe there's another teacher around here. Anything's possible.
Budweiser, la mejor razón en el mundo para tomar cerveza.
El vóley celebra su centenario con el 13º campeonato de vóley masculino. Los mejores equipos compiten por el título mayor. El 13º campeonato mundial de vóley. Cuba contra Brasil, el lunes, solo en ESPN.
3-3 in Tennessee as the GMAC halftime report continues. In progress in the Pac-10, Stanford leads Southern Cal, the Trojans allowing a TD on the opponent's first possession for the 5th straight game. Michigan State wore green pants today. Eddie George wore 218 yards and a touchdown as Ohio State won that one. Vanderbilt goes between the hedges on homecoming in Athens and beats Georgia. A lot of heat on Georgia coach Ray Goff and their defensive coordinator, Marion Campbell. Army at home beats Louisville after Louisville handed NC State its first loss last week. Congratulations to Houston, snapping a 10-game losing streak. Navy also snaps a losing streak. Iowa State and Akron have the longest losing streaks at 8. The game of the day had to be West Virginia Pitt, the backyard brawl. It left everybody breathless. Buck 43 left, 33 all in the fourth. John Ryan to Chad Askew. Pitt down 1. Johnny Majors going for 2 at home. He did it against Syracuse last year and didn't make it. No tie here. Want to win this game, and Ryan runs the option to perfection, and the Panthers lead 41-40. It looked over. Not in this game. The Mountaineers, one last chance with seconds remaining. Johnston needing a miracle. Down 1. Scrambling, unloading, and finds his man wide open for the touchdown. How do you get behind the secondary? Abraham gets in for the winning score. 7 TDs of more than 50 yards scored in the backyard brawl. West Virginia beat Pitt 47-41. BC continues to roll on after beating Notre Dame. And Virginia goes to Atlanta. And now Georgia Tech is 0-4 in the ACC. More at halftime after this.
IBM AT Tour Tennis Magazine. Don't miss the latest news and highlights of the tennis world. Watch the IBM ATP Tour Tennis Magazine.
ESPN presents American football. Great moves. Hard hits. Fantastic catches. Don't miss doubleheader action Sunday. First, the Los Angeles Raiders meet the Miami Dolphins. Later, the San Diego Chargers take on the New Orleans Saints on ESPN.
It's halftime at
Medio tiempo en el estadio Neyland en Knoxville, Tennessee. 3-3 es el marcador. Tennessee podría tener una ventaja, podríamos decir, de unos 10 puntos sobre el equipo de Alabama, pero los errores le han costado.
Y acá le tiene errores por el joven Peyton Manning. Y excelente actuación por Tommy Johnson, el veterano. Otra entrega y otra vez ahí Tommy Johnson cuando James Stewart echó la pelota. Otro pase largo acá en la parte de Peyton Manning. Excelente actuación de Willie Gaston, pero otra vez Tommy Johnson con la intercepción, el segundo en el partido para Tommy Johnson.
Mucho trabajo para este técnico que hasta el momento, de todas maneras, un marcador 3-3. Pero vamos a ver qué es lo que tiene entre medio de esos guantes. La magia por parte de Philip Fulmer. A ver si va a cambiar algo la estrategia. Vamos a ver quién será el mariscal de campo también. Dentro de la cancha obtiene bien ese balón y tratando de correr. Si hubiese aguantado un poco, quién sabe, hubiese rodado.
Quién sabe, si no hubiera parado también en la pelota, pero no se quiso arriesgar. Así que buena decisión aparte de número 80, ese viene a ser Billy Williams.
Y parece que va a continuar Brandon Stewart.
Pero hay una infracción acá.
No. Peyton Manning es el que va a comenzar otra vez como titular.
Y Luis, mirando los números de Peyton Manning, tiene los mejores números, aunque no tuvo una buena actuación en el primer cuarto. Lo mismo hasta ahora, este es su equipo.
Mariscal de campo de primer año, empiezan a correr rápido por parte de James Stewart.
Y ahora va a empezar el partido otra vez James Stewart, después va a entrar Aaron Hayden, que tuvo una gran actuación en el primer tiempo. James Stewart apenas 37 yardas, no muy bueno, un promedio 3.7 cada vez que llevaba la pelota.
Y esa pérdida de balón, ¿no? Solo que 3 yardas antes de entrar a la zona de anotación.
Dentro de la zona roja, entregar la pelota es un pecado mortal.
Manning, mariscal de campo, tiene 2 corredores y 2 receptores. Se la entregan al hombre que empieza a obtener un poco de yardas, es Mose Phillips.
Y ese le va a ocupar a ese Brian Thornton, hace esa parada. Mirando donde corrió con la pelota el primer 13 veces, llevaron 83 yardas. Y tiene ahí gran éxito en el centro, detrás de esa línea de Bubba Miller y Jeff Smith, Kevin Mays, Jason Lehman y Leslie Ratliff.
Y a los costados todavía no han tratado de correr por el lado derecho. Quién sabe, a ver si pueden probar en este tercer cuarto de juego. Siguiendo con el número 19, Mose Phillips.
No consiguió, para mí que no. Le sacó las piernas y ese era Damian Jeffries.
Haciendo cambio de jugadores.
Y es una cosa, ahí tiene un ejemplo. Ahí le tenía a un joven en Peyton Manning. Él, aunque llega a reconocer que esa defensa, que esa jugada no va a tener éxito, no tiene la libertad para cambiar la jugada. Ese es un problema.
John Hutton, de cuarto año, será el hombre que va a entregar ese balón. 40% las yardas, más o menos el promedio que tiene. Y acá está el jugador Tommy Johnson, que hasta ahí lo detienen rápido y fuerte.
Fue Scott Galen.
3-3 el marcador. Regresamos.
I was in a coma for 6 weeks. I had 2 broken ankles, 2 broken legs, 2 broken arms, and there's nothing more painful than a broken bone.
You ready to hit this one?
After the accident, I had to learn how to do it all over again.
Richard's story is so incredibly motivational. It's great to see somebody with that desire to succeed and continue on with his life. Right through these trees here. In my old hometown of Akron, Ohio, there's a par 3 golf course that they've developed for the physically challenged.
Wow. Think that one's on the dance floor.
PGA Tour's NEC World Series of Golf helps charities like the Challenge Course at Edwin Shaw Hospital. With your help, PGA Tour events have donated money to more than 900 charities, making success stories like Richard's possible. The PGA Tour, anything's possible.
It's given me my life back.